Hi, welcome back. We're the K3, and this is our weekly watch list where we watch as many K-dramas in a given week and report back to you what we're liking, loving, and dropping. And this week, again, Hyena was everything to me. I loved it so much. We'll get to that later because I'm going to gush for a very long time about how much I loved it. I have a very big Hoon problem right now, ladies.
That's not
very
a problem,
again,
is it?
Like, I
don't
rewatched.
consider it that a
I
problem.
was sick this week. I rewatched Kingdom and Along with the Gods 1 and 2.
Oh, you did?
That is a week well spent.
It was a good
Nice
way to
job.
be sick, for sure. But I have a serious Hoon problem. Monday, Tuesday, I will go to you when the weather is nice. I will find you when
On
the
a beautiful
Fun.
day.
beautiful day, something like
We'll
that.
meet up when the weather's good.
There we go.
Something like
in
that.
the spring, I'll find you. How's that?
Oh,
Ooh,
New
there we
alt
go.
title.
I know, right?
But you know what? She wasn't referring to So Kang-joon.
Oh.
She said it specifically to her ex-high school friend, the one that betrayed her, played by Im Se-mi.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is happening this week?
She's falling for him.
Of course. Well, wasn't that?
yeah.
I think-
She had like a little jealous outburst. And I was like, whoa, where'd that come
I
from?
feel like
Well, no, she watched him as he came down the mountain after he rescued a lost hiker
of course he did.
because he's a mountain beast, according to his teenage sister.
Meaning he can find his way up and down and across and through any mountain anywhere, whether it's night or day. I was half
Yeah.
expecting the show to turn into Werewolf Boy. Werewolf Boy. I was a little disappointed when it didn't turn into
Werewolf Boy. I'm all in. I am
was-
back in.
I had a moment of like, please, 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 please.
I
and
am
knew-
back in if he's a werewolf.
She was like, "Can you see in the dark?" It just might turn that way because K-dramas.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
we
God,
will
I
let you
would-
know.
please.
Oh my gosh. I would
Please.
No, she sees how much love he has in his life, like because everyone's so panicked. What kind of mountain is this? I grew up in British Columbia.
It was a tall.
It was a hill
right?
with lots of paths and
Yeah.
very slow grading. Anyways, he rescued a young woman, the one that EJ Wook kind of likes, and
Oh, good. We're not going to have a love triangle with that?
No,
Oh,
no,
good,
the
good, good, good. Thank you.
triangle I think is our other boy from Extraordinary You.
Oh, did he show up this week?
No, he
There was a preview.
Mhm. I think he's
Well,
the,
and also did EJ Wook's crush from work, the one who was rescued?
Mhm.
Does she starting to get a little crush on our lead there?
Yeah, I
from
think there's
the
some
little-
ancillary triangles.
Little savior syndrome going on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is So Kang-joon. He runs a bookstore / library.
I know, I love it. Like, the worst book seller ever. Can I borrow this? Of course you can borrow this.
Yeah.
That's called a library.
Keep it for as long as you want.
Exactly.
Really
I'm
is.
like, is she paying you? No, because I sell things online.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, sure. I'm like,
Oh, he's figured out his own business
All right,
model.
well,
I
that's
guess.
good.
I
like it. I like the fact that he does a pour over. It's a good pour over.
That's
He does.
right. Coffee is very important. There are lots of great coffee making devices and accessories in this, like the glass kettle.
Oh,
so you can see
yeah.
the water boiling. Yeah.
Okay, so are we still enjoying it? Because I think my favorite comment last week was from Joycelyn, who called it a Hallmark Channel, show.
Yeah,
And
it is kind of.
that is what I was like, exactly. And that is
Yeah.
why it's probably not my show.
I think,
But
it's
I
a-
understand its appeal. Totally.
Yeah, it's a little more, I think, melancholy than
Okay.
that, or it's just like sad. She harbors a lot of sadness.
Sure.
Yeah, and
but-
they showed a lot of her backstory, like the
Mhm.
full, what led up to her friend
Right.
basically betraying her by sharing the secret, her secret about her mom.
It
and-
wasn't a misunderstanding.
I was gonna say,
it
it's
was
not-
just flat
was-
out betrayed her.
It was not. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
totally. I'm totally team Hyewon on this one. I'm just like, no, you should have not told.
Mhm.
Why did she tell?
Because there was another girl who was pestering her and making up lies about, oh, she's
was pregnant,
and
that's
this,
why
and she's
she
like,
had
she's
to
not. This is what happened.
Oh.
But she had promised Park MinYoung that she wasn't going to tell anyone. And then Park
Ah.
MinYoung was like, but those other things were lies. I could have stood up to those. You
Yeah.
told them the
Oh.
truth, like the terrible
Oh.
truth.
Ooh,
But her mother's
okay.
back in town.
Oh, and who's
Yeah.
there playing her mother?
Her mother
That
is
is
played by
Jin Hee Kyung, I think. Is it
The mom from Fight My Way?
Yes,
Nice.
and
Oh
Suits.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
right.
yeah,
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 she's
yeah.
the
Oh, I
lawyer
loved
in
her. That was one of the few high points for me in Suits.
Yes.
Yeah, I love her.
Also wearing sunglasses. It's so amazing.
I
because-
thought for a second I thought it was her aunt, and I'm like, what is her aunt doing riding the bus and sucking on a lollipop? And then I realized, oh, that's not her aunt. It's her mom.
But it was hilarious because so the house that Park Min Young was living in with her aunt was an inn that was owned by grandma,
Mhm.
and it was an albatross around her aunt's neck. And so the pipes burst one night and froze. But like
Because it got
2
really
in the
cold.
morning, the aunt is like out there with a hair dryer trying to defrost the pipes with her sunglasses on at 2 in the morning.
yeah.
She's awesome.
Oh my god, I love her. I don't want her to have a brain aneurysm and die.
I know.
All right,
But,
so we're
And
still
then
enjoying
she
it.
tried
Oh,
with
yeah.
like a small like welding torch or something. Was
Oh,
her
yeah,
next
and then
to
she busted the pipes and
they
they
totally.
it was like, and then Issa, So Kang Jun's like teenage sister is like there singing Frozen, and like icicles
She's
everywhere.
like, Dad, would you ever imagine my favorite movie of all time? And it's actually happening. He's like,
Okay.
be quiet.
That's amazing.
Their house is
All
frozen.
right. It sounds like it's kind of fun.
It's charming.
I'll have to see where we
it's
go, because
slow, it's
it's
easy paced.
easy breezy. Because it sounds like unfortunately a lot of shows are getting postponed in March or
Mhm.
right out
This one
canceled
was,
for this
yeah.
one.
This one is as well.
Because of the coronavirus in
Mhm.
Korea and pretty much worldwide.
Yeah.
So be safe, wash your hands, the usual PSA
Mhm.
for coronavirus. So I might have to pick something else up on Monday, Tuesday for sure.
Well, also because what's our next show that we're talking about?
Cursed.
Oh,
Woo!
it's like I definitely need like
Yeah.
something to bring me
Right?
recenter
An
me because
antidote.
this
Oh
show.
my god. Okay.
How's it going?
I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was kind of like, "Let's get to it, show. Let's get to it." I know this is 7 and 8, but let's make some things happen. And holy
Oh,
shit!
Did they?
Did you get your wish?
Oh my god!
God.
So our wee little cursor, Soojin,
Oh.
She's so powerful.
she's so powerful.
So powerful.
She's terrifying. So shenanigans. Our evil. I was gonna call her a warlock. She's not. She's a shaman. She's after her, and we got the whole episode 8 was about like pursuing someone between Jinhee, between Jinhee being abducted and her husband going after him, and
Yeah.
I am oddly way too invested in their relationship. Like I was so happy he found her. Like there's something about their relationship I just need more of.
Oh yeah,
Right?
you want yeah,
I just want them to be happy.
yeah. But man, K-drama cops.
Right?
Ugh.
They're terrible.
Oh, they're just
More incompetent.
Oh,
yeah,
it was bad.
and
It was
slow,
really bad
Can't
and
figure
slow.
things
Yeah.
out and
Do they stand around and watch everything unfold? Not do
something.
anything?
Well,
They did in the middle of the road trying to figure out why this phone with her tracking
know.
device is like at a crossroad. Yes, which direction do we go? So incompetent cops, right? So they're in the middle of
Which
a
way do we
four-way
go? Which
stop.
way do we go?
Which direction do we go? And we stand and we contemplate. It's like, let's,
In the middle of the road?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, and no cars at all.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a relief.
It was,
you can't
yeah.
tell me it's that hard to track her. Come
Right.
on.
Anyway.
Anyways,
But I
for
did.
purposes of
I
the story.
found that episode 8 was so stressful because he's trying to find the wife, and our big bad evil shaman is trying to find our wee little shaman, and so there's this, all these different. We kept bouncing
Yes.
back and forth between the two pursuits,
and
and
our
it was just.
minion is just
oh,
rolling over
oh,
depending
God.
on like who's in the room.
Right?
And it's like,
Oh my god, it was amazing. And then when Soojin grabbed her finger, were you expecting that? I was like, oh my god,
Not
what's gonna
that.
happen? I know
On
what
a
we should-
crowded
on a crowded subway.
She
and-
pulled a
Oh.
what? How do you call it? It's what she did to the boss at the beginning, like at the end of episode 1, where he basically
young-
yeah.
The young boy. She also did what she did to the young boy,
Oh yeah,
where she just grabbed his
bleeding.
pinky
yeah.
and cursed him that way, and then
Yes.
the boss, the head guy, she started twisting it on
Yes.
herself.
So that's what happened to our evil shaman. She just was twisting in on herself, and no one noticed on the subway because you're just
Yeah.
into your own thing and you're ignoring everyone. And
It
then,
was-
boom.
it was
it's like she's crumpled up in the
amazing.
middle.
It was astounding, and the way it was shot was so well
So
done.
good
It
that
was
you're clapping.
ridiculous.
The
The tension.
and the reveals. Oh,
So
it was
is this-
amazing.
Am I remembering correctly? Is this the show, the director of Train to Busan?
The
writer.
the
The
writer
writer.
of
Okay.
the
Yes.
director is different. And I kind of looked at some of his stuff, and I didn't recognize any of
No.
his shows.
But the writer. So
But
the
the
writer.
writer from Train to Busan, and the way that they it was so because the way they kind of do this visual thing when she starts cursing someone and kind of everything kind of falls away,
Yeah.
and it's just the two,
Two
of
of
them
them.
on this
was
subway. Oh my god, I'm
amazing.
getting chills because it was terrifying. It was. And she just
Chills,
has her red hoodie up, and she is
Oh.
she was so flighty in Parasite. I can't even believe it's the same
young
character.
actress. Yeah.
She's creepy as fuck in this, and
Oh,
it is
yeah.
amazing
Uh-huh.
with her short little bob haircut
Yeah.
and her red hoodie
Yeah.
and her stare that is like
Her
1,000-yard stare.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So,
Oh,
so
my goodness.
is she like actually like hundreds of years old, but just in the
No.
body, or we
No,
don't
well, we
know?
don't know.
We don't really know much about these gods.
Yeah, the
Okay.
god itself is ancient, so she's got
Yes.
an ancient god in her for
Yeah.
sure,
Oh,
which I
right,
think
right, 'cause
gives her that.
the possessed-
But
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Woo.
So there were so
So
many
good.
visual moments,
Yes.
like that cursed tree.
yeah, oh
where
my
they're
god,
just-
that I want that tree, not a cursed tree, but just a tree in
tree
general,
that
and the
looks like
paper he printed it on. I was like, the paper, and oh, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like a wishing tree, only for curses, and
Yes.
I would love it as a wishing tree.
It was beautiful.
It was terrifying.
in
but beautiful.
terrifying way. Yes, but that this moment just I was like so grateful for this moment of relief, like when our minion went to go get in his car and he like double clicks, he opens the car with his key fob, and it's not the little white sedan, beat up sedan. It's this huge
Right.
monster SUV
Right.
Cadillac or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only fun moment.
It was
because
it.
after that, holy
It was
crap.
terrible. So we finally found out what the big ritual is. We're at episode 8, so we're at that midpoint, and we
Yes.
finally found out what that was. And where we kind of found out is that all of these shamans
Have been,
showed
like,
up, right?
called
Yes.
to Seoul.
Yes.
And they all showed up at the air, like this group at
Oh.
the airport.
And they all
Again,
seem
with
to be
the-
on the same flight.
Yes.
But I don't,
right.
yeah, it was weird.
But again, with the visuals,
Right.
like fascinating looking people.
Yes. And so we found
Who's it gonna
out
be?
that our curse / Jen's hopeful wishing tree is actually part A of the
Mhm.
ritual, because it seems like what they're going to do is actually curse all these people with
Right.
the actual curses.
Uh-huh.
So that's what all these extra shamans are there for, because they're going to actually do all of these curses from this #cursed forest.
Yeah.
But the big ritual that I think they're going to power with all of these curses
Right.
is to move the big evil spirit out of our main guy, Jin Jung Hyun,
Mhm.
into who we don't know.
We
the
don't
who.
know. And the thing
Right?
is our evil shaman, is she dead? She can't be. It's only episode
Right.
8.
In the
So-
preview,
she's-
it looked like she
she's back.
survived the curse, but to what
Mhm.
extent is my question.
Oh, yes. Ugh, this
Ooh,
show. It's so
good.
good.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was, it was,
I
when
know.
it ended, I was like,
Yes, it was like jaw drop. What a way to start the week, huh?
Right?
Ooh.
and then when she was all crumpled in the subway and it was empty and the doors shut,
I
and
know.
it rode off, and
Oh.
our wee little shaman Sujin just like basically just did a nod, like looked directly into camera, kind of did like a little nod and like walk. She's such a badass.
Such a badass.
She's
right at us.
She's terrifying and
She is.
amazing, and I love her with
Uh.
everything I have. And I need our couple to adopt her.
Oh,
That's my plan.
Yeah.
That's how I want this show to end. Not
Yeah.
everyone dead. I
yeah.
need them to adopt her, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yes, please. Not
That is
everyone
that
dead.
is my happy ending. And she's got her eye back, so that was good too.
Oh yeah, that is good.
And then we had one new entry this week, Nobody Knows, which I think everyone was kind of looking forward to, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't. What did you think?
I really liked it because first of all, she looks like Trinity from the Matrix. Don't
Right?
you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cool.
I really enjoyed it. I was super surprised that by the end of episode 2, yeah, the serial killer she had been looking for 17 years, 19 years, boom, done, gone.
Right?
I was like, where do we go from here? Oh,
Oh.
right, her surrogate son is going to commit suicide. How many
But-
teenagers have to commit
Right?
suicides in K-dramas?
I'm hoping
God.
because he was still awake when he landed that he didn't die.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
hoping
true.
I'm
but-
hoping
We
he
know.
didn't die.
K-drama rule, right? Unless you see a
Yes.
cremation or on the
Yeah.
table.
And they
in the
didn't
coroner's
then-
and they
office.
didn't and here's the other thing, in the preview they didn't show anyone weeping, or the mother
Right.
Jang Young Nam, who's a
yes.
horrible mother, and I think if he dies she's no longer in the show, but
Right.
she's a key player.
Right.
She's in
So,
all the posters.
Jang Young Nam, who we
Yeah,
love so
that's-
much, is
yes.
this horrible mother.
Horrible. She's
And-
a hot mess.
But we have not seen
Do we
enough
know
of her
why?
yet.
Do we know? We don't know.
She's got an alcohol
Yeah.
boyfriend problem.
Yeah.
Can't be alone problem.
Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
where is this going? Because she's such a
Right?
key actress that we know
Yeah.
she's hardly been in it, so we know it's gonna get big
Yeah.
for her.
And they burned through some story
Holy
in those
cow,
first 2
yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
It was
That
intense.
could be a good thing, though, right? When
I
you
think
cover
so.
a lot of ground. and
Yeah.
Don't take too long about it.
So what I'm enjoying about this and what I'm not enjoying about Tell Me What You Saw was that there's so much backstory. There's so much emotion with her. There's so much understanding. There's so much of her obsession, and we're getting, you know, we see that. So it's like we want to go with her.
Yeah.
But I was just, I was super surprised. It's not usually the case that boom.
Right. But they did leave a little bit of a window open that there's an accomplice.
There's got to be somebody else.
So there's somebody else. And obviously because of the stigmata thing, it's definitely tied to the church.
Ooh, Park
which,
Hoon.
right?
Lordy.
He
What
was
is he up to?
wackadoodle, man.
I
Like
know.
that was a scene and a half with his introduction. I was
Yeah,
like, what
I
is
know.
happening right now?
Do you like our memories of the Alhambra? Like, you know, because he was in that. And then Secretary So.
Oh my God.
Like, what is
that
a
was literally my
detective?
first note. Secretary So. And I think he's got a crush on our lead.
Could be.
He's got stick around for.
He's got there's a little twinkle in his eye every time she asks him to do something. I kind of dig that.
Yeah.
Our girl, she needs to find some
romance.
happiness. She needs to find some happiness once this is all said and done. Because she's been beating herself up for 20 years.
Yes, with, you know, so the murder board, right?
Yeah. You cannot have a story like this without a murder board.
Of course, especially 20 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Research.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Murder board that's been moved a couple of times.
Yes.
Do you still have the room? Of course I still have the room. I will never not have the room. The room is
her
everything. I will
apartment.
make room. I said the same thing. Her apartment was amazing.
I know.
I was like,
beautiful,
how
yeah.
Isn't she a detective?
Yes, but
Yeah,
her
she
apartment
makes that
is
much money.
fantastic.
Well, no, it's not like a fancy, like, you know, 28th floor
It's
apartment.
just
It's just like
open.
a really
Okay.
opening. She's got like plants on the
trends.
terrace, and it's just really nice.
And the scenes with her and the little boy before he grew up,
oh,
so cute.
yes.
Oh my God, I love them so much.
I
Like, there's
know.
just a lot to really like about the show. But I felt like those first 2 episodes, like we burned through so much story
Right.
that I kind of was like,
And
ooh,
now- and now what?
wow.
But at the same time, they set up all of these
Yeah.
mysteries with this
Mhm.
boy. It's like, what is going on with the
Right?
money and the shoe and the
Yeah.
hiding and the boyfriend?
Yeah,
and
there was a
the-
lot of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
the
we've got
shoe.
and then we've got the teacher who we haven't even
Yes.
officially met. So
right.
yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, so maybe when we look back at these 16 episodes, it'll really seem like this was parsed out. Different. It's very different in that sense.
Yeah.
But I like her so much. What is her name?
I wrote it.
Kim So Hyun,
Yes.
playing
Kim So-hyun.
Detective Cha Young Jin.
I do. I'm really enjoying the character.
Mhm.
I'm really
I
enjoying
mean,
it and her relationship. She's so good.
She was the tenacious reporter in
Oh,
Company.
yeah.
The reporter we loved to hate.
Exactly.
But that's how good of an actor she
Yeah.
is.
And then she was that crazy school
tutor.
what
Not,
would they call it? It was an advisor,
Consultant,
like the college consultant
God,
in
yeah.
Sky Castle. She's terrifying when she
Yeah.
wants to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm really
Totally
excited,
buy her in this,
right? Yeah. So I'm really kind of enjoying her with a little bit of a softer side that
Mhm.
has been really fun to
Yeah.
watch for sure.
That's awesome.
With
Love it.
still being terrifying, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like when she busted into Jang Young Nam's
yeah.
apartment when the boyfriend was getting violent, and she
Uh-huh.
just basically was like, she basically just beat the shit out of the boyfriend, which was fantastic,
Yeah.
and arrested him on site.
Yeah.
And the little boy, who then grows up to be kind of her surrogate son, is like, he came to visit her, and she's like, "Why are you here?" He's like, "Because you're my hero." It was so great.
Aw.
He's so adorable.
I know.
loved
He
it so
can't be
much.
dead.
He can't be dead.
No.
I flatly refuse to allow it. I refuse to allow it.
The K3 says no.
No. Wednesday, Thursday. Money Game came to an end. Marisa, was it satisfying?
Yes,
Oh.
they wrapped up all the stories.
Mhm.
Lee Sung-min ended up in prison.
Of course. Good.
But I think I was really there's a deeper understanding or a deeper attachment to this show that me not being Korean, not being raised in Korea, being fairly new to understanding, the historical aspects of the fiscal crisis that they went through 20 years ago. There's a deeper story here, and I was getting, they definitely show glimpses of it. But I think what this was kind of a love letter to the tenacity of Koreans loving their country. And so Lee Sung-min, even though what he did was criminal,
Right.
it was
He
out of
killed two people,
he killed
right?
two people.
right.
It
At
was
least.
out of this deep, abiding commitment to how the country should be run with economic policies that help people. So went about it in a criminal way. But he had this kind of amazing breakdown at the end because what exactly did he do to get what he wanted, right?
Right.
It was this kind of very kind of quiet accusatory moment in prison with Gosu going, why? Like, how was this
Why?
worth it?
Yeah.
Killing my father.
Why did you go that far?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So Yuteo, so he's had this long history of bribery and corruption, but all in the name of working for Bahama.
Right.
So in the last few episodes, he's been sleeping with Tina Bahama, the daughter of
Oh,
Bahama.
okay. I'm like, did we meet Tina Bahama?
Yeah, we met.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's been around for a few episodes, but really, she works in Beijing, and he gets caught up in this web of criminal activities and bribery and forcing Lee Sung-min's character to accept these false numbers in order for them to buy this bank, right? So what he represents is international money, and that's a big problem for somebody like Gosu, and also for somebody like Shim Yoon Kyung's character, Lee HyeJoon. And they wanted to take him out, and he was going to fight, but he gets caught at the end because of this history of bribery. And Bahama's like, yeah, you did that on your own. But because Tina Bahama loves him, she's like, here's a fake passport to get you to China. I'll meet you there.
Come join me. Come join me.
And then you can rebuild and we'll welcome
Right.
you back, so you can continue this life of, malfeasance. But he's in some, how there are all these, there are these secret VIP areas in airports. So he's sitting in one and he calls Lee HyeJoon. And he's like, I've already left the country. And she's got some weird third sight with him. I guess that's part of the reason why he thinks she's like his mother so much. But for some reason, he's attached to her, right? And she's like, quit hiding. You told me once, where do I belong? You're Korean. So leave there. And she calls him Han Yujin Shi.
Oh.
His Korean
Yeah.
name.
Ah.
And so he leaves Tina Bahama and he tosses his Chinese passport and he
Really?
exits. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So Korea's his home. Korean is who he is. And he chooses to be loyal to Korea, even if it means he's going to be arrested. And I think that's what it's about.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there was this kind of interesting moment at the end where Gosu makes a comment to HyeJoon about being what makes her pretty. And I know that he's kind of it's planted throughout the last few episodes that he really likes her. I don't know. Tell me what you think. It didn't really ring true for me. They had this very smiley moment in the rain. And I know it's because a lot of the characters who you thought, oh, they're going to go back to business as usual, corrupt. But a couple of these characters actually stood their ground and stood up. And that's why I'm like, this is really a love letter to Korea. This is about people who are like, no, I'm committed to an economically strong country, a tiger of Asia and I'm not going to play business as usual.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a challenging show to watch. I'm glad I watched it. I wouldn't watch it again.
Right.
But
I mean, I just lost the thread. Like
Sure.
it got so muddled in the middle there that I just was like, I don't even understand what is happening. And so it sounds like it would have been. It sounds like. What was the name of the movie that we saw about the IMF scandal?
oh yeah.
What was that called? I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But it
We'll put it
was
here.
yeah. But it was with Kim Hae
Kim Hae-soo.
Soo and Yoo Ah-in, and it was so
Really
good and
good.
so riveting that
Yeah.
I kind of understood what the IMF scandal or situation was
Yeah.
in Korea. It helped me understand what was happening.
Mhm.
This show, I just felt like kept so much information so close to the vest that by the time it got to the middle, I was so confused and so lost that I couldn't make any sense out of it.
Yeah.
Which bums me out because I do like learning more about the culture over there. And so that I
And the
really
history.
did want to learn more about the history and the culture.
Yeah.
But I was so confused.
I know. I really had to kind of step away and look at the characters and what was it
Yeah.
that they wanted, and like for for her uncle, who was so desperate to make it big in a stock
Was
market.
he still in jail at the end?
No,
Did they
he was
finally get
out,
out?
but he
Okay.
did not understand what he was doing. You can't play these penny stocks, right?
Yeah.
And just think you're going to cash in a minute. But just this desperation to not be poor
Right.
and to keep making mistakes about it.
Right.
And there was this the gentleman who owned the farm, the one who had been a
Yeah.
Wall Street tycoon.
I enjoyed those scenes.
Right. So he died of cancer.
Oh.
But as he was dying, and really, and that's what, having these lucid moments of what life is all about, and talking to Gosu and talking to Shim Yoon Kyung, he was like, my generation, we didn't have 3 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that is for him, it meant going off to Wall Street and becoming this huge financial success. For someone like Shim Yoon Kyung's uncle, it was like this desperation with like no understanding of how this thing actually works.
Right.
And so I was like, to step away and go, wow, that IMF bailout just wrecked the country and wrecked people's attachment to money. And when you go to Korea now, it's only been 20 years.
Yeah.
That's insane.
not very
Yeah, it's
long at
really
all.
crazy how
Yeah.
pply
The
things
economy
changed.
turned around. Yeah.
So quick question. Where did Gosu and HyeJoon? HyeJoon. Where
Yeah.
did they end up at the end of the show? Like, were they the heads of the department?
No.
Where did they end up?
Well, because he admitted that there was some wrongdoing, so he just got demoted.
Okay.
And he didn't want to run that department anyway.
Right.
And HyeJoon is still there.
Okay.
And but he's so much more relaxed.
Okay, good.
Now that his father's killer is in prison.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Huh. All right.
Wow.
Well,
It sounds like it was a very interesting show.
sounds like
It really was.
Really was.
It really was.
I'm so bummed out that it didn't resonate with me. I really wanted it to.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, maybe next time. All right. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tell me what you saw. I saw nothing.
Tell me what you saw.
What,
Not enough Jang Hyuk.
Right? Okay.
Aw. It's never a good thing.
No, but
No, right?
it's winter, right?
Right?
They have him in this coat, this long black coat with the,
Was it with
this-
the
yes.
another fur?
Yes.
Another fur
like
collar?
So
Oh,
it
that's
looks like
amazing.
he's got these like European like royal robes
I
on,
I
stalking
noticed
around,
that.
like just his swagger. Am I right?
Right?
You are
His
right.
Swagger, is
there are very
unmatched.
exactly say there are very few who match his swagger. And he's so into his swagger. Like other people who have that kind of swagger, like know it's kind of hilarious. He's like, I own this swagger.
like-
he's committed.
He's
to it.
committed to that swagger.
It's almost like, what swagger?
Exactly. This is who I am.
Who I
This is
am.
how I get up in the morning and get coffee.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
With my robes. Delicious.
Yeah. So not enough of him. It's definitely shifted into a procedural. I mean, the twists of this particular crime were interesting. But now that Nobody Knows is on,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like kind of variations on a theme, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
And
I'm not as committed to it as I was.
I feel like Nobody Knows did the reveal better and kind of got rid of all that and made it more procedural, like right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Where I felt like Tell Me What You Saw set us up for this series long, like,
For the
situation
long
to
burn
the
over the
long
entire-
burn of
yeah.
what had the reveal of him not being in that chair came in episode 14 or 15, that would have
would've
been
been like,
that would have been like that would have been a story.
Yeah.
But it happened like what, episode 6?
It happened a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, they're barely giving any screen time to that story.
Right.
There's like just kind of a moment flashbacky type of thing. And
Hmm.
so we're just getting Jang Hyuk just knowing everything about everyone. Like in a blink of an eye.
He is.
He's figured
He's
it all out.
He's the greatest profiler ever profiled.
Ever.
He really
Ever.
is.
Greatest
I mean,
profiler.
yeah. So I think it's I think had I stuck it out, I think I would have been the same spot you
Yeah,
were, and I would have jumped ship this week because I'm so much more enjoying
Yes.
Nobody Knows and what
Yes.
that story setup is
Yeah.
than what is happening now over
So,
here.
so can the Jang Hyuk awesomeness sustain for the rest of the?
How many more episodes do you have?
4 more. I think.
4 more.
I think it's at 11, 12.
I mean, you know.
Maybe also because the subs on Viki take a little longer,
Yeah.
so I'm a little behind. I haven't watched this weekend's
Right.
yet because they're not
Gotcha,
fully subbed. But I guess I have to look at the calendar. There's a lot of March shows
We
coming
got
up.
shows coming up.
The
Yeah.
floodgates are about to open. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
So I
gonna
don't
get
know.
nuts.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll finish it eventually.
Right? Eventually. Because there's Jang Hyuk. When you have
There's
when
Jang Hyuk,
you're
yeah, I'm not
kind
gonna
of
say
like
no to him.
when you're
When
kind
you're
of like jonesing for some Jang Hyuk, you just throw those
Yeah.
episodes on, you'll get it all finished. It's
And something new. Yeah.
satisfies it. It's nice.
Yeah.
All right, next up, ITAEWON Class. All right, last week we 86'd our segment
Yeah.
because it was a little ragey.
Yes.
This week we're much more calm
Oh yeah.
and focused as to what we want to say. And I think for me, clearly the show just isn't for me. It's just
Maybe women of a certain age,
yeah, maybe
with a
that's
certain
what
amount
it
of
is.
experience with relationships.
maybe that's what it is. And maybe I think that as I was watching it, I
Yeah.
found when they did the storylines that had nothing to do with the weird love triangle that's happening, and Esau's crush, obsession / love for Seiroi.
Mhm.
I really enjoy it.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I love the other characters, and I
Yes.
love the
Yes,
stories,
yeah.
and I love that they're talking about transgender people. I love that they're talking about racism.
Yeah.
It's an odd thing to say, but it's like that they are approaching these
Cultural
stories.
identity.
Yeah,
Right.
in a K drama is so important because that's why it's an Itaewon.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
The most international section of Seoul, because of the American base that was there. But the other thing is, this was a webcomic,
Mhm.
and we know how it ends. Assuming that they stick to
They
it.
don't
Yeah.
deviate.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So-
it'll be interesting because we've kind of heard through different various sources on YouTube
Mhm.
that they're not sticking horribly close to the webcomic.
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
I
I'm
don't
like
know.
there are storylines that I've just really enjoyed. I'll tell you one story that makes no sense to me is
Mhm.
is Gumsu's storyline. Like what happened? Like,
to him?
I get that he
Why
wants
would
to
he
take
do
over Jenga,
Jenga?
but
That
but
he betrayed and turned on Hyunyi like
like
that,
that was
and still call her one of my closest friends?
Yeah,
How could he
there
do
was
that
they
to
gave us
her?
no information as to why this pit. Yes, I know that he said because if he runs Jenga, that then he can
then
have
she'll-
Esau. I get that part, but we gave no indication that he was just this cold and heartless. Like, is it
He
just?
seemed just kind of lost?
Yeah,
you know, and
right.
like
So,
looking for a family. Really.
Yeah,
and he had one,
it.
and then he threw it away. To it was.
I wanted
was
to like this show
Yeah,
so much.
it was
and I
very,
didn't.
very, very confusing and hurtful. And and here's the other thing, Sua, man, it's time to make a choice.
Yeah.
Like I was happy to
she's
at least
still waffling.
Yeah, I was happy to see
Come
her.
on,
She
girl.
finally wrote her resignation letter.
I know.
She hasn't
Oh.
turned it in, but
Yeah.
it's written.
Yeah.
So there's
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
But at what point do you just say enough is enough with this bullshit? Like
Mhm.
especially after what happened with Hyunyi. Like,
I know.
but it was such that final 15 minutes with Hyunyi and her. It was
Fantastic.
so good.
Fantastic.
It was so well done with what Pak So-hee said to
Oh,
her,
that-
and then what the
right.
poem that was read, and I loved that, and her busting through the doors, and like it was such
That
it was so good,
powerful.
and I loved that is what I loved about the show,
Definitely.
for sure.
And the coats.
And oh my god, the coats.
Oh my gosh.
The coats last week, she had that plaid coat that she walked in when she walked into the chairman's office with, and
that
then
red plaid coat.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and then the green one, that
The green
Director
one.
Kong one, I was like, I need that coat. I need that coat with everything I have.
Director Kong, her earrings are.
Oh.
I mean, there was one that was
Yeah.
very like kind of oddly
Right?
S&M with the chains wrapped around her neck.
Right.
I
Like,
gotta
I
figure
know,
that
it
out.
is.
I'm like, is that a glasses
Yeah.
holder or is that an
It
earring
was
necklace
amazing.
combo? I'm
But
not
her
sure.
earrings are fantastic. I love her
Yeah.
style so much.
I love her,
Oh,
and I
she's
love
great.
this.
Since I missed this weekend's episodes, is her relationship with the former detective, is that continuing at all? Or?
No,
No.
he
Seemed
to
wasn't
have a
even.
very
I don't
good
even think he
rapport.
was in
No.
it this week.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
he did his
He
part.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he finally came forward with
Right.
the truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
so
but
that-
she's still loyal to Park
Yeah.
So-hee, and she's helping him
Yes.
because
And
how many?
Harmony is independently wealthy.
Yes.
Not just some random loan shark.
No.
And I loved the story
Aha!
that she
Yes.
was Kim Tony's grandmother.
They're just
Yeah.
so sweet together.
And it was, and I think going back to what you said, how they were talking about how, like the racism in Korea, like how she basically said, my son was the greatest son ever, and he wanted this one thing,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't give it to him, and
Right.
she was heartbroken about how awful she was,
Right.
and then he died, and then she
But
got the chance to embrace his son, and I thought that was just such a
Right.
beautiful.
Aw.
And that
Aw.
also Tony Kim
Yeah.
didn't turn on her. He was like, "No,
No.
my father loved you."
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
It
so
was such a
beautiful.
great scene too. Like there was a
Yay,
lot of
yay.
really, really good stuff in
Yeah.
these 2 weeks.
I
And
guess
again,
maybe I'll just fast forward to
yeah, we would
those
I just feel like the relationship is bogging it down, and
I
that's
definitely.
all I'll say.
I
about
mean,
it.
I don't know about Twitter, but on Instagram, I'm definitely seeing both sides. People going, "I don't need romance. This
Yeah.
show has so many great characters." And then other people saying,
Yeah.
"Well, we know how it's going to end," and other who are definitely, Team Isol versus Team
Sua.
Sua.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah, definitely a lot to talk about.
There's
with
so
this
much
show.
to talk about, right? And it does look like, based on the trailer for next week, we get the
Mhm.
time jump finally. So the last
Right.
4 episodes,
hair.
maybe
Right?
4, maybe only 3, don't know. But because we clearly have to see what happens with the competition, the
Right.
cooking competition. And so
Mhm.
we'll see what happens there. And then there's a time jump. So I'm curious to see what that time jump does. Anyway.
Yeah.
But it does look like the time jump finally happens in the last 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens there. And
Ah.
so,
Powering through.
So share with us, what do you guys think? Where are
Yes.
you at in all of this? I mean, yes, go ahead and judge us and say that we only like cliche K dramas. That's cool, but I don't think. I think it's
True.
I think that's A, untrue, and B.
Have you really watched us?
Yeah,
That's just me. Come on,
yeah.
people.
And B, I think if you take a step back, there are some structural issues with this show that is what
With the
is keeping it
storytelling.
from the storytelling
Mhm.
that I think,
Yep.
while I understand its popularity
Mhm.
across regions and why it's so popular in Korea,
Mhm.
there are things to talk about that maybe are not working for everyone. I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said, tell us what you think.
Yes.
And we will comment about that.
Yeah.
Have a conversation.
And then, as I mentioned at the top of the show, Hoon is bringing me life this right now. In this season, I am so happy.
Oh my
Oh my god, this show,
it's so freaking
it's
good.
it is just,
It is-
it's just pure fun.
I
Yeah.
almost hit play on
You
the show
should.
instead of watching ITAEWON,
You-
but I was so far behind. I was like, no,
I
have to watch it.
highly recommend you hit play on this
so
one.
Okay.
good.
It's just, this is what I'm loving about the show, because a lot of people on Twitter are really, really digging it. I recognize that Kim Hae-soo's character is still morally bankrupt, but I love the fact that even against her own best plans, she keeps running into Hoon, and she's throwing her off her game. And I think the role reversal of that is
Uh-huh.
what brings me so much joy, because in almost every other K-drama, it's the other way around.
Right.
Mm.
Where
Mhm.
the woman is always the one who was heartbroken or played
Mhm.
bad. And I love the fact that Hoon knows exactly what happened between the two of them, and that he was in love with her, and
Uh-huh.
that he is heartbroken and he's
Uh-huh.
angry and all those things. And he will say it out front, like just up front, that is what's going on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she's just like, wait, wait, that is not what I was expecting. Like, she's expecting a battle every time. And when he like drops into that like softer register, it's
Yeah.
just, you're just like,
Oh.
and then this week they actually started kind of working together.
kind of
And it was
combating her with love.
it's not even that, but
No,
like
it's
just-
it's
it's
the
just-
banter.
it
It's
is,
the
yeah.
lack of social distancing between
Right?
the two of them.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it
just-
is. Yeah.
and
Mm.
Hoon just cracks me up. Like his reactions
hilarious.
to things, it's hilarious.
They have these wacky moments, like
Yeah.
with like, I'm like, what's happening here?
Right.
But,
it
it's fun.
Works.
It's fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
And it's the one I look forward to the most,
Oh,
for sure.
Definitely.
Like I'm just really, really enjoying it, and it just brings me a tremendous amount of joy.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's just
Ugh.
I don't know what else to say. It's just the story. The actual law cases really don't matter.
No,
Like
it's the
all
chemistry
it is the
between
chemistry
them.
between the two of them, and the absurdity of the things that are happening,
Yeah.
and how slowly people are starting to figure out that something's going on between the two of them. But they don't know what.
Uh-huh.
And it's just so not the cliche K-drama setup. It's the cliche K-drama setup, but the execution
Yeah.
is different.
Mhm.
Like it's not
Oh,
like
I
they
always
it's
appreciate that.
not like she came barreling into the law office and just was this brash lawyer that he didn't get along with, and so they butted heads. It's
No.
not the whole setup was that they met like the whole setup of them just meeting at the laundromat, even though she that was a whole setup for her. For
Right.
him it wasn't. And so I'm really enjoying the actual execution of the whole thing that we've seen a million times.
Yeah, and also that she's still vulnerable. She's getting
Yeah.
played by the law firm. She
Yeah.
knows it,
She
but
knows
she's
it.
hoping not. But she
Well,
just
and then did you notice she made, and when she's got her informant, gave her all the things, and
Yeah.
he's like, be careful, you might lose, you might really lose this time. And she's like,
Yeah.
what else do I have to lose? So like there's a whole story there
Ooh,
that
with
we
a
have
comment like
not,
that.
we have
Mhm.
not even gotten to yet.
Yes.
That is just, oh, it's gonna be so juicy. I love it. I love it.
yes.
And finally, we have some sad yet happy news here at the K3. This is Karen's last show at the K3 for the foreseeable future. But it's because of good things.
It is because of good things. I've got some personal stuff going on that is taking a lot of time and energy, which is so fun and a blessing. Unfortunately, that means I don't have the time to invest to participate on a weekly basis. But you know these ladies have you covered. So if you haven't already, subscribe, like, comment, share, join our K-drama copy clutch. They're going to keep it going for you.
And we will miss Karen so much and all of her love of rom-coms. And it doesn't mean she will not show up again. She can pop in whenever she wants. If she's
Yeah.
watching someone wants to share her thoughts, the table is always open.
If you need a
For sure.
rom-com specialist,
Yeah.
I would like to be here for
Yeah,
you.
of course.
Thank
Thank you, Casey.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Jen.
you,
Thanks,
guys.
Marisa.
And
Thank all of you.
Yes. Aw.
Aw.
And we will see you guys next week. We are the K3. I'm Jen.
I'm Karen.
I'm Marisa.
And if you want to check out some of the other things that Karen likes to talk about a lot, rom-coms, you can check them out right here. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
And ladies, I would love to say that I will miss you the most. And Marco, thank you for your expertise and fun behind the camera. But truthfully, I got to be honest, Soji Sub, I will miss you the most.
But you'll still see
I'll
Soji
still,
Sub.
I'll still
Yes.
says, I'll miss talking about you and
There
making
you
random references to you the most.
Don't worry though, she's got your KED count. You got your KED count covered. Was it KEDs?
Kids.
Was it KEDs or was
Oh,
it
Converse.
Converse?
I've got your, I do have your Converse count counted.
Counted.
Aha.
Definitely.
Sure.